Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I am just going to be talking about how I felt the night before surgery, how surgery was, pain rates and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just going to let you guys know how I felt after and how long it took me to heal. And yeah, so if you're interested in hearing about that, keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so before surgery, like the night before, I was so nervous. And thankfully, me and my husband were doing it together. So, we kind of had each other accountable. Neither one of us could really back out, but I made him go first. So he went first and I saw him through till he went to surgery. And then I started getting prepped and then they let me know when he got out. But the night before, we did our normal routine and everything, and we let our kids spend the night at my mom's house, so that way they were didn't have to get up super early or anything like that. And we got up and we rode with my grandmother. We had to have somebody drive us to surgery, so she drove both of us because we couldn't beat each other's rides. But that night before, we were so nervous. We were anxious, we're nervous, just not knowing what to expect. We were should we back out? Should we not? Thank God we didn't. But it was just a roller coaster of how we felt. It was just kind of up and down, and we're doing the right thing. No, we're not. Maybe we should just cancel. I don't know. And it was crazy. So, but we ended up finally getting a little bit of sleep. And we woke up, we got in the car, we drove there, and we did go through with it. And like I've said in my other video, it was the best decision ever. And so yeah, I'm so happy I went through with it. But so about surgery, so you get there and they get your IV started, you go through prep and they weigh you, and they just make sure that you've done all the things you've done. They ask you the last time you ate, the last time you drank, and stuff like that. Pretty normal stuff if you had surgery before. That part's pretty easy. I want to say the surgery takes about 45 minutes to an hour and a half. It's pretty quick. But I will say, when I woke up from surgery, it really knocked me out. I am normally a person who can have a surgery done, any kind of procedure, and I am a bounce back. I'm up. As soon as the anesthesia starts to wear off, within an hour of surgery, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm mobile, and everything. I don't know what kind of anesthesia they used during this surgery, but it completely knocked me out. I remember being very groggy, waking up. I remember getting to my room a little bit, saying goodbye to my grandmother, and then I remember nurses just in and out. And then next thing I knew, it was almost time to go home. I had a little meeting with my nutritionist before I could go home. And yeah, so it was just a groggy situation. The pain. I will say I was in a lot of pain because not only did I have the sleeve surgery done and my little belly was angry, but I also had a rather large hernia repair as well. A hernia that I didn't even know was in there, but that got fixed, thank goodness. And so yeah, so that was quite interesting. And so a lot of pulling and tugging in my abdomen area and everything as well. It just caused a lot of pain. And I would say probably a 7, 8 out of 10 for me. It was manageable, but with the pain medicine, I will say healing time. We had surgery on a Wednesday. My husband was ready to go back to work that Sunday. For me, I was a different situation. It took me a while to kind of get back to normal. Probably about 2 weeks, because I did contract C. diff. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to make a whole separate video on my experience with contracting C. diff and what to look for and everything like that. So on top of my being sore from being cut open and things being cut apart. I was sore because my stomach was hurting so much from the C. diff and using the bathroom so much. So it did take me about 2 full weeks to really feel like myself again. Your first meal, I say, so when you first get up, like, I don't know how other nutrition places do it, but I know at Centera Weight Loss Surgery, they have like a 4 rule. They give you these little cups of water, and you have to drink 4 within the first hour. And so it's very painful. No one ever told me that. No one ever, mentioned it. No one warned me about that at all. But because your stomach is so angry from where it's been cut and everything, when you take those first couple sips of water, and even as you get into thicker, like protein shake type things, it is painful. Like, seriously painful. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like this tight, tense feeling in your belly, and it kind of burns and hurts. But imagine, you cut your arm open and you're throwing like water on it or something on it. It's gonna burn. So that's kind of like why it hurts so bad in your gut. So it's kind of understandable. So I get it. But yeah, so just look out for that. I wish somebody would have told me that, and so I'm going to tell you guys that. It is not fun. It hurts. And even to this day, like, I have my water right here. If I don't take a little baby sip like this, and like let that fully get in there before taking the next sip, then it hurts. Like, I mean, it took me a long time to get to the point where I could drink water without it hurting. But what's the weirdest thing is, before I could drink water without it hurting, I could drink other things like my Powerades or my protein drinks without it hurting. And somebody had said something on one of the support groups that I'm in, that it's something to do with like some like buoyancy or something in the water, because it's like a lighter thing. I'm not really sure where they were going with that, if they're wrong, if they're right. I don't know why for some people water is harder to drink than for other people. But I have overcome that, and I've got myself to a point where I can drink about 90 ounces of water a day. So it is something that you have to find, like, what's easier for you. Like, it could be that cold water works better for you. For me personally, like, room temperature water works better for me. But it could be the opposite. It just depends. You have to find out what works best for you. Oh, excuse me. And now on to like your actual like real first meal. So the first couple weeks after surgery, you're obviously still on like that liquid, thick liquid kind of diet. So like yogurt, puddings, water, protein shakes, stuff like that. And honestly, take your time. Like, if they say, oh yeah, you should be ready to transition to soft foods at 2 weeks out, and you try a couple bites of soft food and you're not ready for it, just keep doing full liquid until your body is ready for it. Not everybody is going to be on that same track and on that same path. It's just like a roundabout window for everybody, and you have to determine what is best for you. It could be that you can transition a little earlier than some people, and it could be that it takes you an extra couple days or even a week or so. For me personally, my 2 weeks came around. It was like day 14, day 15, and I was like, oh, my husband was like, let's just bake some fish, like I think it was tilapia, or it might have been flounder. I think it was flounder. And he's like, and we can kind of mush it and add a little bit of Greek yogurt, lemon, and we'll just do that, and it'll be real moist and easy. I took 2 tiny bariatric fork bites, which I will show you guys my bariatric silverware in another video. But I took 2 teeny tiny little bites. It immediately made me sick, and I was like in the bathroom trying to throw up. And that's the thing, is like, you really can't throw up when you have the surgery sometimes. So, I mean, and it was very painful. Mind you, I'm still 2 weeks out. My stomach's still angry. It was very painful, very uncomfortable. So do not rush it. That was my trial and error. I tried it. It didn't work. So what did I do? I went right back to soup liquid and full liquids. My husband, on the other hand, probably ate about 6 bites of it, felt full and was fine, and he continued on that soft food track. So it just goes to show you, you know, he did great and could, you know, try other soft foods, and I was like, oh, nope, my body's telling me, no, I'm not ready. I need to stay on full liquids for a little bit longer. So I did that, and eventually got to a point where I could eat the soft foods and then transition to regular food. But yeah, so if I had one tip for you guys, it would just be like the number one thing: take your time. And just because your buddy who did it with you, or somebody that, you know, if your program sets you up with like a partner or anything like that, somebody that you guys can hold each other accountable, just know that just because you're doing something faster or they're doing something faster doesn't mean that something's wrong with you or they're doing it better. Everybody is just different, and listen to your body. So that's my biggest tip. Take your time and listen to your body. But I hope you guys can, you know, take all this information and learn from it. And when you go into your surgery, just remember that, yes, it's painful, yes, it hurts, but it's only for a short while, and it does get easier and it does get better. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.